Something you gotta say? Should I be afraid? Hi everybody, we are back, and this is an adult cooking class, but this is something that even kids can do, because if you get the kids in the kitchen, it will encourage them to want to cook, and it gives them something to do. So if the house is quiet, you're not going, the house is quiet, what are they up to? And you won't have Legos, you know, smeared underneath your bed or something. I don't know, peanut butter smeared in your bed. You never know. But with me today, I'm Melissa Lloyd from the Valley City Barnes County Public Library, and this is Chesney. She is going to help us cook today. And then, of course, the always enigmatic Sue Millender from Barnes County Extension Office. She is going to be bringing her nutritional prowess to the table, and I'm bringing the comedy relief. That's...
Oh, wow. Well, this recipe looks amazing, Melissa. I think you chose well. It's called Chicken, Broccoli, and Sweet Potato Sheet Pan Dinner. And how appropriate, because we're in the fall, right? Or headed to the fall, unfortunately. So sweet potatoes are an awesome, awesome thing to bring to the table.
Yes. And I love sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and they're so full of nutrients. So there's a nutrient in here called beta carotene that actually comes into your body and turns into vitamin A, which is really good for your eyes and really good for your skin.
I need it. My eyes are... As I get older, my eyes aren't getting any better.
No, isn't that the truth? So we cut one sweet potato up, but we wanted to show you how to cut another raw sweet potato. We've got this one half peeled, and Chesney is going to peel the rest of this, and you can just peel it right on here. Right. So this is a peeler, another tool. Have you ever peeled something before?
Maybe.
There you go. That's exactly what you're going to do. Just right like that. Yep. And it does take practice. So a peeler is a tool.
Surface to keep it solid.
There you go, and you're going to go all the way around. Good job. Now, a lot of people will call this a yam. There's a difference. If you notice, this peel right here is pretty smooth. It's a smooth peel and it's pretty orange. A yam has a really rough outer peel and it's more brown.
Oh, okay, I guess I never knew that.
So usually what you find in the supermarket is going to be a sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
Yes.
Do they, but I mean, for the most part, do yams and sweet potatoes taste very similar?
They're gonna taste a little bit different.
Okay.
But I think for our flavoring, or our taste buds, I don't think you're gonna notice much of a difference. Chesney, you're doing a great job.
Now, I mean, you don't have to use sweet potatoes for this recipe. You can easily substitute regular potatoes or any type of squash. It's October soon, so you could take a pumpkin or a squash and replace the sweet potato with this.
Perfect. How's it coming?
Good.
Awesome. So the next part I'm going to have Melissa do, because the sweet potato it's hard, and our knives are not that sharp. So you're doing great. So Melissa, I'm going to have you take the chef knife. Remember, that's a bigger knife. And actually what she's going to do is cut it in half. So she's going to cut it in half lengthwise, because we want to get a flat surface. Whenever we're cutting, we always want to make sure that we get to that flat surface. Then she can flip it over again and cut it. Now what I like to do is actually cut it again horizontally. Nope.
Horizontally, so
flip it up on its end. There you go. And I want you to cut it a little thinner. There you go, if you can.
That's
you get that? Hard. With a sharp knife, it's much easier. Right. But there you go.
Let's watch Melissa struggle.
Now you can put this back together, and now you can make
cross cuts.
Yes. So make long, like French fries is what she's gonna make. Long French fries. Yep. And the thinner you cut them, the thinner the dice. Now she's gonna dice it coming from the end like that. Perfect. Yep. That's awesome. And she'll put that right on the plate. Now, we're gonna move on. We'll cut this later in a minute. We'll take a break. Let's do the red onion again. Do you remember how to cut the red onion?
Yes, so So you're gonna cut off the kind of the stalk part of the onion. And then you wanna peel the onion off. And I usually take a really good thick layer of the onion if I can. And then I do it horizontally several times, and then I do it, I don't know what that's called, across, and then I do slice down. So there's the horizontally, and I like to get really close to the bottom of the board and start at the bottom. I have to put a lot of weight on the onion so that it doesn't move. And I do about 3 or 4 cuts. And then I like to go across, just because I like a finer dice with my onion. My kids don't like onions, so I figure the smaller I make the onion, the less likely they are to complain because they can't really see the onion. And even though I tell them, you know, onion is pretty much in everything they eat, with the exception of, you know, like pancakes. But you can make savory onion pancakes too.
Perfect, you did a great job. We're just gonna push this over to the side.
Okay.
And we're gonna get all of our prepping done. So we've got garlic here. We've got 1 minced garlic. In the last recipe, we sliced the garlic. Now we're gonna mince the garlic. We've got 1 peeled, and now this is one that needs peeling. So we're gonna let Melissa crack that open. There you go. And then she'll peel off the outer part of the clove. And then she's gonna show you how to mince.
Oh, I am, huh? So, unfortunately, the onion is starting to affect me.
I see you starting to tear up there.
I told you I'm really sensitive to onions. So to dice, I curl my fingers in, kind of like I'm a little claw, and I use it to kind of hold the onion in place, but making sure my fingers are well away from the knife, and I just kind of, I keep this edge of my knife on the board. That doesn't come off. And then I just kind of lower my knife through the garlic until it reaches a point where I can't hold it anymore. And then it becomes little sections of diced garlic.
Fantastic. So we're gonna take a little break.
Yes,
but
we
we're
are.
gonna chop the rest of our sweet potato up, and we're gonna take a little bit of olive oil and we're gonna drizzle it on here like this. And we'll add the rest of the sweet potato up. We'll stick it in the oven, and then we'll come back and we'll do step 2.
And the oven is preheated to
400
degrees. 400 degrees, and we're going to cook the sweet potato for 15 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
And then we'll be back.
And we're back. And so it's been 15 minutes, and the sweet potatoes are starting to look a little bit cooked. They haven't quite gotten there yet. They're still pretty firm. So now the next thing we're gonna add is the
Chicken.
So we've diced up the chicken into cubes. And what I like to do whenever I'm doing a sheet pan meal is kind of just, it looks almost like a rainbow. You have the chicken on one side, the sweet potatoes in the middle, and then the rest on the other. So I'm just gonna, and this pan is hot, so I'll try not to burn myself.
That looks great.
Oh, it's sizzling already. So,
And the next thing is the onions.
onions, and I think the onions we just scatter all over the place, right?
Yep.
So, do you wanna do it?
You can touch it.
You don't, you.
And then you can do the broccoli. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna add onions all over the place. I think this is, I love onions, so I'm like,
Even though you cry.
they make me cry, but I love them so much. It's how you know you really love something, they make you cry. And you just, I still want to eat it.
Okay, and the next thing is the broccoli. And you learned how to cut broccoli today too, right, Chesney? So we took the stalk off, and then
Where
she
should I put it?
took the small parts of the broccoli and just broke them apart. She's just gonna randomly spread it all around the sheet pan, I think, or are you gonna do a rainbow?
I guess I'm doing a rainbow.
Okay, she's doing the rainbow, that's awesome. Okay, and the next thing you're gonna do is sprinkle the garlic on.
Alright. And we'll do that all over the place. I'm not trying to do too many chunks of garlic. You want them to be spread out. Garlic doesn't spread very well though.
That looks great.
Sticks
Now
to my finger there.
we're gonna drizzle.
Yeah.
Drizzle olive oil over the top. And we're gonna, do you want a spoon to stir it or you wanna wait?
Yes. Usually, yeah, anytime I take it out of the, we probably should have stirred the sweet potatoes beforehand. They'll be fine anyway.
Okay.
So
You can stir if you'd like, but the next step is to put on some spices. And I'll tell you what the mixture of spices are. We mixed them all together. The spices are dried thyme, sage, parsley, rosemary, a little salt, a little pepper, and then a little nutmeg.
I can smell that nutmeg.
Yeah.
I
So
love the nutmeg smell.
sprinkling it all on there. You can toss it if you want. We are gonna return to the oven and we're gonna cook for another 16 minutes or so. We're gonna pull it out.
And then we're gonna stir it.
Yes.
And then it goes in for another 10 minutes, doesn't it?
Oh, maybe, yes, yes.
Because you're supposed to, it goes in for 20 minutes, but at halfway point you stir it, and then for another 10 minutes, and then if it requires any additional time, it usually is right around another 5 to 10 minutes, but.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna shut off the camera, and we'll put that in, and we're gonna pull it out in a little while, and we'll add the pecans and the cranberries.
Yes.
This
And after
looks
20
amazing.
minutes, yeah. So you have a meal. You have protein, you have greens, you have, well, I consider a starchy sweet potato. I consider sweet potatoes a starchy carb, so it's a little bit more sticks to your ribs kind of thing.
And what are we adding here?
Cranberries.
Which are a
Fruit.
Can you believe it? So all we're gonna do is sprinkle on a little bit of some cranberries and then a little bit more protein.
Yep.
Those are some pecans. Beautiful.
And they give it a nice crunch.
We're gonna toss that up and voila.
And yes, it's super hot, but
One dish to wash after we're all done cooking.
yes, that's another, well, yeah, that's a nice, and you just,
Beautiful.
yeah, it's so good. You don't even need the words. You can just see how good it is. I mean, it's got, I mean, you don't get much more healthier than this as a meal. And it's simpler. That's what I do sheet pan meals at least once a week because it's so simple. You just have the chicken out ready to go, and then have the kids help cut up veggies, and you can use whatever veggies you like. You don't have to use sweet potatoes and broccoli. You can use zucchini, carrots, mushrooms and onions and peppers, and I mean just whatever your favorite vegetables are. And again, with the protein, you don't have to use chicken. You can use beef, cut up pieces of pork, shrimp, pieces of fish. You can use a salmon because that's got a nice oily fish. And yeah, it's so simple.
So you know what I think is next? We need to dig in.
We do.
Okay.
We do. We need to dig in.
So with that, how about if we eat and we'll let them eat?
Yes, so I hope you have enjoyed the cooking classes that the library and Sue Millender have brought you. I want to give a very big, huge thank you to Epworth Church for letting us borrow their kitchen. That was really gracious of them, and they've been wonderful letting us film here. And I also want to encourage you, if you're in the Valley City Barnes County public area, or even if you're not, to subscribe to the library's YouTube channel, to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and we also do have Twitter, but we're really rusty with the Twitter, so, but definitely Instagram and Facebook, and of course YouTube. So thanks, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.